everyone, and welcome to another episode of Miss Chrissy Chronicles, where you learn to love you. In honor of finishing our You Are Badass book breakdown by Jen Sinsro, I figured it's time that we get better acquainted. So in today's video, we'll be doing a little get to know me / life update. I asked you guys on my Instagram if there's any particular thing you'd like to know, and thank you to every single person who sent a question. I'm so excited to get into this because some of your questions really had me thinking, so let's do it. First we'll cover the basics, then get to the Q&A, and finally wrap it all up with the life update. That being said, hi, I'm Chrissy, I'm 21 and evidently obsessed with self-love. This is my baby Latte, a mascot, and she doesn't like the camera very much, but we're learning, we're getting there. First question. What made you want to start a YouTube channel and how do you stay motivated to create content? Now, I got a lot of questions along these lines, and if you had told me a year ago that I'd be doing this now, I would say that's cute but crazy, because at the time I barely had pictures of myself, and if I did, they were either heavily filtered or I would just delete them because I didn't think they looked good. And being on my self-love journey changed a lot of that. As for the YouTube channel, it was an excruciatingly slow process that after a certain point, everything just happened all at once. About a year ago, I met another content creator. It was interesting to see the possibilities and cool to see from the sidelines, but it was just never something I saw happening for myself. I tried doing things like starting a journaling series on my Instagram, and after trying to record the intro and failing dismally, I just gave up. Which is actually quite funny because I'm about to jump into a journaling series right after this video, so stay tuned for that. I also had several outcomes where I would go months in between posting things. By the time I would post something, I just didn't like the way it looked. It was just a whole back and forth cycle of trying, failing, getting demotivated, trying to come back. Just a whole bunch of inconsistencies. So can you see how uncanny it would be for me to start a YouTube channel about self-love, no less? Anyway, fast forward about 6 months, I was doing my monthly reflection and goals, and one of the goals was to read a book on self-confidence. So I went to TikTok looking for suggestions, and that's how I came across You Are Badass by Jen Sinsro, and it was such a game changer. Between that and watching a whole bunch of core videos, it just kind of got the ball rolling. Go check out my breakdown of the book if you have not already done so, because like I said, it is a game changer. Shortly after finding the book and really getting into the details, I found myself telling my mom and brother about what I was reading, and I realized that usually I would struggle to get my point across, but when it came to self-love, I would say that stuff with my chest because I believed in it so much. And following that realization, I decided that I'd start sharing self-love nuggets on my Instagram. Fast forward again to the day where I was preparing to start my vision book. If you guys have been here for a while now, you know that I love Pinterest, so I went to Pinterest and looked for influencer aesthetic photos. One of these particular photos had a collage that I really liked, and in bold letters over the word YouTube. Now don't get excited because that was not the point where I decided. I kind of figured that since I liked the collage, I'd just cut the word out and use the pictures behind it. When it came time to trim and stick the stuff in the book, I looked at it and thought, YouTube, why not? Until the next day I sat down and literally scheduled the entire roll-up, from photo shoots to scripting, and despite knowing nothing about the inner workings of it at the time, I just had to schedule the time and do it. And it was the best decision I've ever made. And that's why I'm so big on acting on inspired thoughts. It doesn't always come in the form of lightning or slap you in the face so that you blatantly know you need to do this thing. Sometimes it's just a tiny thought that you feel so drawn to that you just have to act on it and see where it goes from there. So if you have an inspired thought, act on it. It doesn't matter how or how much prior knowledge you have of this thing, try, do it. Just do it. And how do I stay motivated to create content? This one is funny because one of the people who asked me this is actually the one who calls me out when I'm in a content slump. It's so easy to fall into the analysis paralysis. Quite honestly, I still fall from time to time, and it's something that I'm actively working on. I make a point of constantly reminding myself that the message of self-love is far more important than any fears or doubts that I may have. I know that this is way bigger than me. Also, I am a firm believer in F it up and figure it out. So the faster I can push out content, the faster I can correct and improve. Question 2. What's the most important lesson you've ever learned? Now, I had to really think about this one because I've learned so many valuable lessons in just the past 6 months, let alone ever. But if I had to choose the most important, it would be that it is so easy to love your self-hatred more than you love yourself. And that will block you from so many people, blessings and opportunities that the source is so eagerly waiting to get to you. I've come to learn that self-love is like walking a tightrope, and if you are distracted for even a second, you'll find yourself falling to a net that seems like it's meant to protect you, but all it's doing is keeping you from performing. Moral of the story, you need to love yourself more than you love yourself. Question 3. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now, and do you talk to cats more than the average person? I love this question because it's about to get controversial in here, okay? Bear in mind, this is my own personal opinion. Do what works for you. But where I'm at right now, I don't want to see myself in 10 years. About 18 months ago, I sat down and done such an extensive 10-year plan. I called it the 10-year commitment. It's so extensive that I broke this down into what I needed to do every single year, month, week, and day leading up to that point. Yet, right now, I don't even do a lot of the things that I done at the time that I thought were going to be my claim to fame. I'm not friends with the same people, I'm not dating the same person. Not that it's any fault of theirs. Our values and plans just didn't align anymore, and that's perfectly okay. I'm so grateful for each one of them and every single memory and experience that we now share. But if I had to break my back holding on to that plan that I had, I would not be where I am now, and neither would they. I love teaching self-love, even though it was never fun. Moral of this story is that while I agree with Stephen Covey in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that you should begin with the end in mind, and I do, I have my overarching goals with checkpoints to get there. In between those checkpoints, my mission is to stay open to the opportunities, experiences, and blessings that God has in store for me. And they'll be revealed to me when they need to be. I call it the snap-slap effect. So, while someone may be snapping their fingers on one hand, they may be distracting you from the slap that's coming on the side. In my opinion, the 10-year plan is the snap. All the good stuff is the slap. If you're too focused on the snap, you must the slap of blessing. Simply put, you roll the boat and God will steer. So to answer the question, I don't want to see myself in 10 years because the reality 10 years from now is so far beyond my wildest imaginations of how amazing I think it could be. And do I talk to cats more than the average person? Absolutely. Latte, my fur baby, is a far more effective communicator than a lot of people I meet. So I consult her all the time. I have full-on conversations with my cat. It's literally just second nature at this point. On to the life update. This channel has greatly impacted my life. I've learned so many things about myself, but it's also forced me into a sometimes uncomfortable authenticity. Yet that has brought me into alignment with so many of the right people. I'm experiencing such quality friendships right now and meeting talented people everywhere I go, purely because I now love myself enough to know my worth and know which tables have a seat with my name on it. Because having a seat at the table was never something I questioned. It was always a matter of which one. And let me tell you, it is not the kiddies' table. No shade to kids, I love it. As I mentioned earlier, I also lost some people when I realized that I was dulling my authenticity so that we could relate better, or behaving the way an old version of me would, just so that they could feel more comfortable. You need to be open to receiving and letting go of people and things according to your needs at that point. And believe me, further down the line, if there is a point in your life where you are in alignment again, you'll find them again. It's as simple as that. And if not, you say thank you for the experience and move on. At this point in my life, I'm also finding old passions being reignited, like going book shopping or going to the theatre. I'm pushing myself and trying new things like a poetry course that I just signed up for. And I've also gotten the opportunity to write an article for the Paper Trail Literary Journal, which I'm super excited about, by the way. My life is currently filled with things that excite me. I've also learned the importance of revisiting things that used to excite you, but now with all the knowledge and experiences you obtain, sometimes you just need a meal show. By the way, there is something huge on the way for my cat lovers, so follow my socials to stay up to date with that. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you so much for watching and for all of your questions. Also, thank you for following the journey thus far. Please be sure to drop a like, comment if there's any particular subject and the self-love that you'd like to see a video about. Subscribe for more self-love content and turn on your post notifications because, as I said, there are big things on the way. Now go out and love yourself. Bye!